everybody. Welcome to our group. We've got a bunch of new faces tonight, a bunch of old-timers and people in the middle there. So please, if you see somebody new to the group or you haven't met before, just help them feel welcome. Just shake their hand and say hi and introduce yourself. You don't have to do it right now.
Greet your neighbor.
But it's just a way that we can all feel welcome. Because it's about us building community. It's about us coming together, because when we do that, we create something much bigger than we're able to do on our own. We're able to leverage each other. And so when two or more come together, there's more power there than just one person. So, for example, if you and I have a value of 10, when we get together, it's not now worth 20. It's exponential. It's worth 100. And now if Cindy comes along, now there's 3 of us. It's not worth 30. It's worth 1,000. Do you see how it works? It's called a mastermind. You almost can envision that your brains or your minds are all conglomerating here in the room to create one big mastermind. That's the point of our group, number 1. And then what you'll hear me say over and over and over, it's about you raising your belief level. The belief that you are a powerful person. The belief that you have the ability to do anything that you want in your life. For you to raise the belief, for you to really believe that you're pretty awesome. Because you are. And that's why you're here right now. So our class tonight, it was kind of gimmicky. The rhyme in it was heart versus head with Dr. Ted. Doesn't that just sound good? I like it, but I'm Dr. Ted, so of course I like it. So I just want to check before we get started. Do I look okay? Is everything buttoned and zipped up and everything is supposed to be?
Spinach.
Okay. Good, I gotta look good. We're filming, so I gotta look good. This class is a very special one to me. I like to say every class is my favorite one, because whatever I'm doing right then is my favorite thing to be doing. But this one is really special. And it ties in, or let's even say it anchors in, the things that we learn up here in our head. We get up here in our thinking and we're figuring everything out, and we're all analytical, we're trying to solve everything. And it's a way we take that energy and we drop it down into here, into what I'm going to call our heart. And it's going to include our heart or our gut, our inner wisdom, our instinct, our intuition. But I'm going to call it heart as we kind of dig in here into class tonight. So before I'm just going to do it now so that I don't forget. I want to have a special thank you to the Unity Church for allowing us to be here on site, on the premise, to host our class, because we outgrew our other space. And they were gracious enough to, they jive with our message. They want people to understand and learn the things that we're talking about. I mean, you guys have fun, don't you? We're a pretty laid back group. But they gave us their space. And so what I'm going to ask you guys to do at the end, it's not a requirement at all, but a love offering. That if you have a couple dollars or something, or a couple quarters, that you put them into the bowl that we have over here on the counter, so that they can help pay for things like me turning the air conditioner way down, which I did. It'll cool off, I promise. The lights, the electricity, all of the hairspray that I need to look good for the evening. There's a lot of expense in that stuff. So I want to say thank you to the Unity Church, especially to Miss Tracy here. She's the representative here for the building and for the organization. How many of you have actually been here or attended a service on Sunday here, just by show of hands? Okay, good. I would encourage all of you, if you dig our group, you should plug into this group too. It's another resource and another way for you to expand. Because this is how the universe works. We're always expanding. What happens is when we get into trouble, when we try and constrict, and we try and bring it in, and we try and close it off, and we try and go into protection, and we shut down, right? This is where we get into trouble. Welcome. This is just another avenue, wonderful group of people, wonderful message. And I would encourage all of you to plug in and just come experience and learn, meet the people. It's a lot of fun. Okay, so our class is called Heart versus Head. Let me ask you guys this question, and it's not a rhetorical question. I want you to answer, okay? I want to hear some people answer. What do you want to get out of this tonight? Like, why are you here? Why did you come to class tonight? Why are you here?
To figure out how to tune in to hearing what's here and not up here.
Try to tune in to what is going on here and not here. Okay? Somebody else. Why are you? What do you want out of it?
To help me make decisions.
Help me make decisions. Good. I'm glad that you said that.
New avenues.
New avenues. So what?
Expanding on things.
You mean you don't know everything already?
No, I've been trying. Cannot convince myself.
It's funny. You don't know what you don't know, and then all of a sudden someone shows you something. You're like, I didn't know that, and now you know that you don't know.
And I didn't.
You gotta dive into it.
And have more faith in your intuition and your gut instincts.
Have faith. Really, it's about trusting that, isn't it? Because we've all had a gut feeling. I've never, ever, 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 ever met somebody that had a gut feeling and they went with it and they said, boy, I regret that. No, I never. But you know what I hear all the time? I had a gut feeling and I didn't do it. Boy, do I regret it. I should have done it. It was right there. It's like I knew it. It was like I was a future teller. I was psychic. I was picking up on something. I knew that this was about to happen. And I didn't act. I didn't do it. I wasn't ready to take massive, immediate action. Instead, I jumped up here and I thought, well, that's crazy. Oh, that's stupid. Oh, that's dumb. You shouldn't do that. That doesn't make any sense. No, don't say that. Don't do it. And you shut it all down. Shut it down. Shut it down. Welcome, ladies.
Hi.
Glad you're here.
Thank you.
So that concludes the class for the evening. Oh, I can't resist. I'm just having fun. We're a fun group. We're a fun, laid-back group. So what you want to get out of it is understanding how to listen to what's going on here and how to trust that, how to trust your intuition, how to be able to make decisions based on information that your brain just can't understand and can't know. Things that come to you, things that are right there for you all of the time to be aware of, but you just don't always get it, maybe, or you're not listening. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Because we are all born from the very beginning. There's a presence. When the baby is in the womb and going through its development, and let's say it's 10 cells old, the baby is not in charge of the expression of the cells and the organs and the life, the pattern and the design. There's a presence that is there that guides the development of that entire thing. And it says these 10 cells are going to divide, and now they're 20. And then these 20 are going to divide, and now there's 40, 80, 160. You see how it continues to go? That same presence says these cells right here now become this organ, the kidney. And these cells become the red blood cells that are born in the kidney and develop, or in the spleen and develop. Red blood cells in the kidney, that's bad. It says these cells are the bones, but these ones are the muscles, but not the whole muscle. This cell is the one that attaches to the muscle. You see how intricate all of that is? Do you know that it's a miracle that you're alive? I don't care how smart you are, how many degrees and books, and how many beakers and Bunsen burners you got. You can't make a baby. You can't do it. It is a miracle because it is under the guidance of perfection. There is a presence that guides that baby's development all the way up to the time of birth. And at birth, that presence doesn't leave you. It is intact inside of every one of you 100% right now. We are made in the image of this perfection. And what I'm going to tell you is that it is love. And I want to explain that just so I don't, throw it out there. It's just love, just believe me. The reason that I say that it's love is really, in our world, it's made of energy. It's all frequency. It's all vibration. I can touch physical stuff. Here's the table. It's hard. I touch it. But as I go down and analyze and look at the parts that it's made of, and I get smaller and smaller, and I see the elements, and then I see the atoms, and then I see the subatomic particles, and I see the electrons and the neutrons and the protons, and then as I get the really fancy high-tech equipment so I can look even smaller to see what's smaller than that, guess what's there? It's nothing. There's nothing there. It's empty space. In fact, it's so empty that if we put it in scale, if we blew it up, if I put a basketball right here on the table, this would be the center of the atom. Guess where the first electron would be? 2 miles away. This would be a basketball, that would be a golf ball, and it would be 2 miles away. And it would just orbit around the center of this atom. 2 miles of empty space. This is the basis of a class that we do called Quantum Physics for Dummies. So I'm not going to go real deep into that. But I'll just ask you a question. What's in the empty space?
Consciousness.
Consciousness, more
We don't
energy,
know.
Love.
Dark matter.
love. I don't know. I'm not trying to quiz you or anything. I'm just asking. Like, when you figure it out, tell me. I'll give you my phone number.
Nothing. It's empty.
Maybe it is.
Yeah.
But what I know is that there is a presence that guides the expression of life. The presence is what's the difference between a person laying there asleep and a person laying on the gurney, a corpse. There's a difference between the two. They weigh the same. This person just died, so everything's still there. They're not missing anything. What's the difference? It's the presence. It's the life. It's not there anymore. It's the miracle that breathes life into us so that we can shine. So really what my purpose is, not only just in the class and the teaching and the community and in my clinic and in the treatment and seminars and in the books, it's about getting you connected to the power that built you. That's all it is. Because if you want to be healthy and you want to be happy and you want to be successful and you want to be in love all the time with everything, everywhere you go. Has anyone ever been in love before? Do you know how awesome that feels? You just float around everywhere. You're like, la, 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 la. There are problems. There's no problems. What's a problem? I don't care. I'm in love. Wouldn't it be great to feel like that all of the time, every moment, every day, all the time, always in love, always in a perpetual state of connection? This is the nature and the essence of who we are. You wonder why it feels so good to be in love? Because it is a return home. It is a return to the heart. We are born in this vibration of love. I'm going to say something that might challenge some of your beliefs, okay? So don't just quit listening. But God, what I call God, the perfection, the presence, the original design, the information, the template, the all-knowing, the omnipotent, ever present, everywhere, all the time. God does not love you. God does not love you because God is love. So just let that sink in for a minute. Because there's nothing that you and I are going to do that's going to influence or affect God. God is a constant. God always was and always will be. So when we say, come on, if you can just get me through this, I'll bargain with you, I'll do these things and that stuff, or I'm mad at you. Nothing that you do, say, think, feel, believe is going to influence or affect the expression of that perfection. So that's a heavy concept, isn't it? It just hit you right in the first 10 minutes. And whoever didn't get that, they're going to miss out on the whole evening. Not really. I'm just teasing. I heard you come in. I was just having a little fun with you. Welcome. Glad that you're here.
Thank you.
God is love. We are born in the image of this perfection, this vibration, this space, which is love. When we have the feeling of love, when we are in love, we are in the presence of our Creator. One of the things that I tell people to do when they're on the treatment table in my clinic and they have hip pain, I say, you need to love it. And they're like, love it? I gotta love my hip? Who is this crazy doctor telling me I gotta love my hip? I hate it. Well, isn't that what the law of attraction is about? Whatever you hate, you get a whole lot more of it. This is in Scripture. It's one of the most beautiful parts of Scripture that I've ever heard, read, or seen that says that when you pray, you give thanks for that which you're asking, as if you have already received. It says, be in the feeling space of already having it. What it says is what you put out into the world is what you get. It also says what you reap is what you sow. So if I am in a state of love and loving something, I'm going to get a whole lot more to love and to be thankful for. You cannot heal when you hate your hip pain. When you hate it and you just wish it was gone, and doggone it, all of the things that I'm doing, and the therapies and the treatment and the pills and the shots and the stuff. I hate it. Guess what? You're going to get a lot more of stuff for you to hate. This is how the law of attraction works. So I don't want to go off on a tangent about law of attraction. Okay, maybe I will. No. Yeah. I'm torn. My head says this, but my heart says...
Go with your head.
That was just too cheesy, wasn't it? Here's what I want you to get tonight, and here's where we're going to kind of frame up what tonight is about. You are born in the energy of love, in the vibration of love, in your heart center. This is the essence of who you are. You ever seen a little baby? Don't you just go, oh, you see her puppy? Oh, look at the puppy. Everyone, look at the puppy. A little kid is just love. There's no fear. There's no grief. There's no guilt. There's no worry or anxiety. It's all love. They look at their toes and their fingers and they go, you walk in the room and they see you and they go, ha! They are full of love. Doesn't it always seem like we're trying to get back to that? Yeah, it's because we are. We are born here in our heart. We are born of the vibration of love. God is love. God is the perfection that we are built in the image of. We are built of love. Love is the state where we heal. Even if it's just something silly that you can find to love and feel good about, if you can just feel good right now, you shift it. So here's what happens. Here's the sort of dichotomy of the whole thing. If we're born here in our heart, then what happened? Because I'm not there anymore. Where did it go wrong? What happened? Something takes place in our life, and it hurts. And the heart gets taken over by the big brother, the mind, the head. It's almost like the head jumps in like the big brother to say, don't worry, little sis, I'll protect you. I'll stop the bullies from getting you. I'll make sure that nothing bad happens to you. So from that moment forward, we jump up into our head and we begin to filter every experience that happens in our life through this scale of good or bad, positive or negative. And we try and get rid of the negative things so we can only have the positive ones. This is the goal of the head. It tries to protect us from feeling hurt. Okay, here's the problem. When you eliminate or attempt to eliminate the negative experiences in your life, guess what? You're having half of an experience. That's not what I came here for. When I sit in front of a piano, I want to play all of the keys, not just like these 8 right here. I want to play them all. And I'm saying, what I'm inviting you to begin thinking is that there are no negative experiences that happen in your life. If you can embrace all of them from a place of love and to see the lesson and the positivity in every single one of them, then you constantly are in this state or harmony or in alignment with the perfection that you were made in the image of, and you have no choice but to be healthy and happy and successful and full of light and love and energy. Would you agree with that? I'm not the crazy guy up here or anything, right? You're with me, right?
Yes. Well, both.
So here's the game. Imagine that you are feeling artistic. You have this like imagination. You have this feeling. You're like, I want to create something. So you get out flowers and you make this flower arrangement, and you just feel so good. You got the red ones and the blue ones, and you buy the little styrofoam thing at Hobby Lobby where you stick them in there and they don't move, and you buy the ivy thing and then the one curly, and you make this amazing bush thing. It's really kind of fun. I did it once. It's amazing how expensive that stuff is. You have to go to Hobby Lobby on like foliage half price day or something. But you build this beautiful bush. So let's say you build it. You build the plant and you put it on the entryway into your house, and your spouse comes home and they walk in the door and they say, "Whoa! Well, I hope you didn't pay much for that piece of crap." And what happens? How do you feel right then? The same thing is true when we're little kids, when we're feeling that way. And we're just being ourselves. We're being authentic. We're just in the moment. We are in a state of love and joy. And we color all over the wall in the kitchen. We get yelled at, we get spanking, and we get hit. Right? So I don't want to get too much into this, but the way that your brain works is you'll store that experience into your memory of feeling imaginative, and then you get screamed at. So what do you think is going to happen when you're 10 years old and you feel imaginative? You're not going to expand, are you? You're going to shut it off. Because you're going to remember, oh, wait a minute, when we do that imagination thing, we get hurt. So let's make sure that we don't put ourselves out there, because we don't want that to happen again. Do this exercise with me. Everybody close your eyes. Hold on to your purse real tight. Just teasing. And I want you to just sort of lean back in your memory. And like you're falling back into a hammock of your past, I want you to remember a time. You were probably really young. You were a little kid where you just felt free. You just felt the freedom of life. There were no silly responsibilities and obligations. You could run and play. You could be full of love and joy. You could share that with everyone around you. You were in your heart. In that moment, you were love. You were not in love with somebody or your pet. You were love. And if you can remember the way that feels, that's your touchstone. That feeling, that memory, if you can connect to that memory and plug into it, it will instantaneously create the feelings and emotions in you that will put you back into harmony and alignment with the power that built you. If you want to heal from something, that's how you do it. If you can open your eyes. Did anyone have trouble remembering a time? It always is that way. Some people they can never remember anything. It's in there though, I promise. I promise you. In this journey of us being able to drop into our heart or our gut or our wisdom center, our visceral part of our chakra, what we're able to do is to connect with stuff that we just can't see, we can't know. It's all energy, right? It's all energy. I mean, we do a whole class on that about the quantum physics just to show that it's not my opinion that it's energy. This is what scientists tell us. All right, this is what Einstein said. It's not Dr. Ted's opinion. It's all energy. But there are things that exist that are outside of the spectrum that we can't observe or see or know. You know, it's wild how a snake, their little tongue goes out and just instantly they know exactly where things are. They're picking up on stuff that we can't pick up on that. It's all energy. Think about an eagle and the way that it swoops down in the water and gets a bird. How does he know where the bird? Huh? Because an eagle can't just go down and hit the fish where he is. He has to hit where the fish is going to be. How does he know where the fish is going to be? There's something else there that we just don't get it. The way birds migrate in the same pattern on the same day. It's all energy. So what I'm saying is there are things out there that we just don't have the receptors or the hands to grab onto with our head. It happens down here. It all happens down here. There's a great example of this that I've gone through in classes before. I call it the radar screen story. So I want you to imagine that if you were on a submarine, can you imagine a radar screen where it goes bling and you can see all of the other ships that are near you in the ocean? Let me ask you this question. Does that radar screen show you everything in the entire ocean all over the world? It doesn't? So it just shows you what's kind of close and what's nearby, right? So this is the way that we work. Our head, our eyes, our mouth, we try to look at our radar screen to try to figure out how things are going to happen. So on this wall here, imagine this little sign right here. This is your radar screen. But this whole entire wall is all of the things going on around you in your life. This is the stuff that's happening all around you. You just don't know it. You just can't see it because it's not on your radar screen. You don't have the sensory perception to pick up on all of it. Guess what does? Guess what does pick up on it? It's this. If you can just understand that concept, you're light years ahead of most people. That how things happen is none of your business. If you want to know how things are going to happen, if you have a dream or an idea, you're like, this is it. This is how it's going to, I know what it is. Here's my goal. What's the first thing you start doing? You go, how's it going to happen? Well, I got to get this funding or these trucks, or I got to get this guy on board, or you know what? As more and more I think about how it's going to happen, I can only find reasons why it won't happen. Well, I want, you know what? I want to build a new patio out back in my house so that we can, enjoy that. So, well, that's probably going to be like thousands, and well, I just don't know with, my husband just got his cut back on his salary, and I'm, working part-time. How is that? You know what? And then all of a sudden we give up on it, don't we? All of that conversation happens up here. If you in that same scenario can just go, you know what, I want a porch. And I don't know how it's going to happen. But it doesn't matter because how things happen are none of my business. When I want to know how something happens, all I'm doing is looking at this little picture right here. I'm looking at the radar screen. And there are so many things off of the radar screen that are help your patio be built. Rush. So if you can just say, I'm building a patio, I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. That's it, period. Nothing else is going to stop it. And here's why I want the patio. Because I can just imagine sitting out back, and I'll be barbecuing, and Dr. Katie will come home, and I'll probably have like portobello mushroom caps, and we'll make burgers out of those with the balsamic vinegar. And sometimes we could put a relish on top of that. Oh, it's so good. And we'll be able to sit out there in the evening, maybe have a margarita or two or three. Ay, ay, ay. And we'll be able to just relax. And as the sun goes down, to be outside in that sort of twilight time where it's not dark, but it's not really light. It's like this magical doorway in between the worlds where things just seem to happen that you just can't understand. And we'll be able to sit back, and we have these beautiful trees on our property, and we'll be able to see all of the birds while we're out there. Maybe we could even get a bird watching book and learn what the different birds are. Because I know what a bird is, I go bird, but I don't know which bird is what. And maybe I'll be able to get into that feeling space. Maybe I just hear music all the time. Oh, do you hear it too? You guys remember Seinfeld? Where Elaine would the Elaine dance? But I want you to see what I just did. Had an idea. Boom, it was born. I created something. We are creators. We're not the creator, don't get me wrong. I didn't say that. But we are powerful co-creators. This is where we're in our bliss. We don't attract anything into our life. We create. The law of attraction is just a law. It's always going to work. It's how you orient yourself in reference to the law. Like the law of gravity. It doesn't matter what you think about it, if you believe in it or not. If you go up on the building and you walk off the edge, you're going to fall. It doesn't matter what you think about it. It's the same thing with law of attraction. The thing that you have the power over is creation. And the way that it works is you create something and the law of attraction goes to work to bring it to you. You are a creator. You're not an attractor. You create what you want. So in the example of the porch, if I think about the porch and I go, I couldn't do that. I don't know how I do that. That's dumb. That costs money. I don't have money. I have no money. I don't have any money. I have no money. I don't have money. I don't have money. How could I do that? It costs money. I don't have money. I'd really like to do it. Oh, other people do it. That's for other people, not for me. They have money. I don't have money. I can't do that. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to make that happen. Guess what you're creating? A bunch of crap. And so the law of attraction will go to work to deliver it right to you in a little pretty bow and everything. Here you go. Big box of crap. You did it. You're responsible for it. You created it. On the flip side of that, if you can just get into let go of how things are going to happen and get into the vibration that you are made of, which is love. If you can just say, I want to make the porch because this and this and this, and I'm going to do this with it, and this is going to feel great. And maybe I'll even sit out there with my banjo and learn to do that a little bit better because I'm not really that great on it, but I watch some people and they just tear it up. You ever go down to Pickin' on the Park in Bentonville and they just go nuts on that thing? I want to learn to do that. But it's too loud when I'm inside, so I could have a nice patio outside and it'll help me have space to play the music so I can learn and get into the passion and the feeling. I love it when you learn a riff and then you just, when you play it, you're like, I did it! Yes, I've been practicing that for hours. Check this out. Come here, listen. Can you sense the excitement, the positive feelings of dreaming? You have to do that. Because when you do that, you're not up here trying to figure out how everything is going to happen. You're down here. You're in the state of bliss and love that you were made in. And that's the only way you're ever going to make anything happen is by being there. You got to hang out there. Because I promise, if you aren't creating the stuff you want like that, if you aren't actively and with conscious intention creating those things and putting them out there, then somebody else is creating them for you. They're putting, I like to call it rats in your head. there's no empty void, there's no empty space in the universe. So if you don't fill it up with the stuff you want, someone else will come along and fill it up with what they want. And I promise you, you don't like it. You guys ever watch the news? Yeah, me either. Because if I watch the news, I have to like go in the bathroom and cry for a long time. Because it's just right from the get-go. Hey, these people are dead. They got killed by this dead guy, this dog, there's problems, the money, the school, the government, the president, the war, the thing. We just want to make sure you're informed. They're putting that stuff, they're feeding you that stuff. And it's the way it works out here. You are special because most people don't give a care about this stuff. Most people do not want to take responsibility and be accountable in their life that they have the ability to influence and create. I don't want to say nobody, but nobody cares about that stuff except for a small group of people. That's why I'm so excited that you guys are here. It's because of this community that we're building in the way that you know someone, and you know someone, and then you know somebody, and then all of a sudden, boom, our group, we outgrew the other place. We're bound to darn near outgrow this place. We're just high energy enough. It's like an oven in here, isn't it? I know, it's really 64 degrees in here.
I just checked it, the air is on. It's not the heater.
And I am 172 years old.
Wow, you look great for your age.
Why, thank you. And I forgot what I was saying. Did I just turn red? There's a couple more things that I wanted to say about the radar screen. Because for you to understand this idea of heart versus head, you have to let go of the idea that there's anything bad that ever happens to you in your life. Like if you're wrestling with a decision that you want to make, then what you do is you pay attention to how you feel about it. And that's just far removed for a lot of people. Because a lot of us are on prescription and non-prescription drugs, or we're on all kinds of chemical, toxic stuff that passes for food. If you go to a grocery store and you walk up and down the aisles, poison. It's all stuff full of preservative for shelf life. If you walk the perimeter, less poisonous. I'm not going to say that it's great. Depends on what store you're in. But the idea here, you have to be able to drop into an awareness. So that's why our next class is about meditation. It'll be here in 2 weeks. Dr. Katie will teach it. It's about meditation. We're going to close tonight with a meditation also. A meditation in Antarctica where it's cool and refreshing. But the only reason that you do that is to shut this off so you can listen. Because this down here, this is subtle. This is a whisper. This is louder than I'll get out. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to tell you this too. Your mind is so used to being in control of everything that as soon as you start to say, guess what, I don't need you anymore because I'm going to drop back into my true essence, it's going to fight you. The ego is going to kick in and create all kinds of illusions and distractions for you to make you second guess everything because it doesn't want to give up control. It's been running the show for a long time. And that's why something like meditation, whatever your version of it is, it doesn't have to be sitting on a rock somewhere in a full lotus position. You don't have to do that. It could be for 16 seconds while you're sitting at the red light over here on Central and Walton. Red light, all right, I got time. What could I get into? What's a feeling I could get into? Oh, my porch. Yeah. oh, it's going to be so great where we sit out there and build it out of cedar, I bet, because that just smells so good, and it does great with the weathering outdoors. And I just love it. It feels so good. It feels so good. And get into that space. And you do it for 16 seconds. That's a meditation. What's happening in that moment is you're turning off all of this junk, this noise, this clutter. You're letting your dream just be, and you're giving the energy an outlet to flow to. That's all it is. Anyone ever write fake checks? Have you ever done that before? Be like, not like, you don't cash the fake checks. But you just get your checkbook out. And be like, you know what? If I gave you $10,000 right now, do you know exactly how you would spend every penny of it?
Absolutely.
So that's what you do. That's the exercise. You literally write it down, every penny, and you write out the checks. And you go through the exercise. It's about dreaming it. It's about giving that energy outlets to flow to. You'll feel ridiculous when you're doing it. One of my favorite things to do is to go, we just call it dream building, but we go to the shopping mall, and I just pretend like I have this super duper unlimited credit card, and I just, all of the things I'm going to buy. Buy this, buy that, buy that, try these on. I have my wife and Dillard's trying on everything. These, next these, try those with those shoes. And she's just like, oh, this is so fun. Like, you look so incredible. This is great. Do we have intention of buying all of that stuff? No. I don't need more stuff. I got stuff. I like my stuff. You guys ever hear George Carlin's skit about stuff? You get enough stuff, you have to buy another house, build a bigger one to put all your stuff. But you buy too big of a house, so you need more stuff to fill up the bigger space. Everyone's got stuff. It's not about the stuff. It's about the way that you are using your mind so that you aren't interfering and you're giving the energy outlets. You're not jumping in the way, talking yourself out of how anything could happen. You're not focusing on how. How's it going to happen? How could that happen? How could it? Where's it going to go? I said this to my mother once, and she's like, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. I got to know how something's going to happen. And so I just said, okay, that's fine. We're done. Done. Conversation over. Because you know how tough it is trying to get somebody to understand how smart you are. Especially your mother, too. She's like, shut up, I used to change your diapers. So in this idea of us having this heart home space, we jump up into our head to protect ourselves so that we don't get hurt. But really, being hurt is an illusion anyway. All of the experiences that take place in your life are all positive. And let me say that differently. Being hurt is not an illusion because it's a very real thing. We've all been hurt before. But the idea that that was a bad thing that you have to avoid, that should have never happened, and you're going to try your best to make sure that it doesn't happen again, that's the illusion. Because there is gold inside of that. I did this with someone yesterday. I forget. I'm going to do it again here now. Everybody, just look around the room, and I want you to look for anything that's blue. Look for the blue. Look for blue. I see blue. Here's a blue shirt. Here's blue. Look for blue. Over there, I see blue on the map. I'm looking for blue. I see blue here. There's some speakers. I see blue. Blue back here. Here's blue. This quilt is blue. I'm looking for blue. On the trash bag, the handles are blue. I see blue. I'm looking for blue. Daryl has a blue pamphlet in his pocket. Hold that up. Show it to everyone. Blue, blue. I'm looking for blue. Okay. Now, everyone, I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to tell me all of the things that you saw in the room that were red. Okay, open your eyes up.
Yeah.
Here's the point. You see what you're looking for, and you don't see the other stuff. You guys ever see the gold digger show where they go and mine gold in Alaska?
Yeah.
Those people are looking for gold. They mine through tons and tons, literally tons, of dirt. But they're not looking for dirt. They're looking for gold. They are looking for it. You have to be that way because there's tons of dirt out there in the world. There's tons of dirt in your life, and you can focus on that, and you can look for it, and you can think about that, and you can throw energy, and you can put emotion and feeling behind that. And guess what's going to get you? A big box with a bow on it, full of crap. Running with my horrible theme from earlier. It's funny.
I love my dirt. It makes groceries. Now, don't get down with dirt.
Leave it to Michael to find some way to argue the joke. The point is you have to be always looking for the lesson and the positive, the gem that's there, the gold. If you're always looking for it, you'll always find it. If that's the way your mind works and you see everything through that filter and through the lens, then the world is a wonderful, loving place full of abundance and joy and bliss, that people that care for you, that will take care of you, that have your back, and that you are just the luckiest person that you know and everything goes your way. That you were built to win. You were designed that way so that you could achieve greatness. And everything that takes place in your life is wonderful because it's an amazing lesson that pushes you even further and further to your goal, which is success. Success is only the progressive realization of a worthwhile dream. It's just the journey. It's not the finish line. It's not the stuff and the money and the cars and all of that, the house and the boat. It's not that stuff. It's who you become in the process of attaining those things. It's the progressive realization of a worthwhile dream. It's you having a wonderful dream that makes you feel fantastic and flowing energy at that instead of jumping up here in your head to talk yourself out of it because you don't know how it's going to happen. Don't ask me to repeat any of that. Are you guys with me? So in this example of the radar screen, all I want you to know, your brain, your mind, your head, it sees the radar screen. Your heart, your gut, your intuition, your wisdom, it sees all of this. I ate at a restaurant today called Poof Chang's. Have you heard of it?
PF Chunks. PF Chunks.
Poof Chang's.
PF Chunks.
PF change?
What'd you say?
PF Chunks.
Chunk.
That's what we call it.
Poof Chang. So there's a fortune cookie. Do you want to know what the fortune says?
Yeah.
Do you want to know?
You kept it.
It says, hear with your ears, but listen with your heart.
Oh my God.
I went, ooh. How perfect is that? Listen with your heart. So you can hear, you can take it all in, you can get advice, and you take counsel with people. That's important. You go to your lawyer, or your accountant, or your doctor, or your father, or your friend. You take counsel with people. Mr. Darrell has been wonderful counsel for me in the last 2 months because he has extensive knowledge in areas that I don't know anything about. And I really needed his help greatly in the last few months. And he's delivered, and I thank you, and I love you very much for that. You take counsel with people, but then guess what? At the end of the day, you make the decision. It's you. So when you are focused on your radar screen, I want you to understand that there's so much more out there in the world that's just waiting to rush at you. If you just let it. Because the more you try to figure out how it's going to happen, all you do is figure out the ways it's not going to happen. And then you squash it. Boy, I'll never get that porch. I'm never going to get that porch. I mean, I really like it, but, you know, it'd really be great to go to Europe on holiday for 3 weeks, but, I call these people positive buts. They say this positive thing, yeah, but you don't know my situation. You don't know my boss. You don't know who I'm married to. Stop making excuses. If you truly want whatever it is you want, I mean, maybe it's just to like live in a shack off the grid somewhere with the solar panel and the garden and like very little community and you never see anyone and you'd be totally in bliss there. I mean, that's not most people, but maybe that's you. Maybe it's not stuff at all. Maybe it's health. Maybe you're at a point in your life where what you want to do is have time with people that you love. That's quality time. Because you know that you get so caught up in work. I mean, I'm a young guy, but I find myself doing that as my son's almost 2 years old. And I'm like, why have I had my face in work so much? Well, it's a wake-up call. Whatever your dream is and whatever it is that you want, I'm telling you that it doesn't happen by looking at your radar screen, and it doesn't happen when you're up here in your head trying to figure everything out. It's all out here, all around us. We just have to drop it down in here so that we can feel, be guided by, as we make decisions. We have to learn to trust it. So let me talk about that for just a second. Your belief in this has to rise before it'll work. That's why in the beginning I talk about all these classes are to raise our belief. You have to have some wins. So you have to have a moment where it seems like serendipity. Was that a coincidence? Is this synchronicity? Can I just blow it off? Oh, it's just a silly chance of events, right? No. You have to, in that moment, that's a win. And you have to celebrate that. And you have to focus on that. And you have to write that down. And you have to go back and read those things. Yeah, I don't care how often, maybe every day, maybe every hour. When you're feeling down and discouraged, you go back and you look at your book and you go, you know what, everything seems, if someone was looking at me from the outside, that things are not going very well. But I don't buy into that, because look at all these wins that I've had. Win, win, win. My belief level is so high, it's going to happen. It'll turn around. I don't know how. I never know how. It's none of my business how it is anyway, but it always happens, because I'm the luckiest guy I know. Things always go my way. I stepped on a board on a trailer on Saturday, and the board was rotten, and the whole leg just went all the way through. Boom! And it just happened so quick, it jarred me, and my glasses flew off, and it sort of knocked the wind out of me, and I wasn't sure what happened. And my brother was there, and he had this look of horror on his face. And so I didn't want to look. I thought, oh no, the bone is sticking out, isn't it? And I looked down. He's like, are you okay? Bro, are you okay? That's what he said. Bro. I said, I don't know. I think so. I tried to pull my leg out. It wouldn't come out. So I had to push the board down, and I pulled my leg out. And I went, yeah, I'm okay. And then we looked at it, the board with the splinters coming out on the edge, and there was leg hair all on the tips of it. And I got away with that. I could have been in the emergency room. Easily. But I'm the luckiest guy I know. Things always seem to go my way. And guess what happens? If they go in a way that I might be like, that didn't go my way, I don't get into a tiff about it. Because I know everything always works out for me in the end. And so if it hasn't worked out yet, it's not the end. It's not over. When things seem to be going wrong, what I want you to do is pop the champagne. Celebrate. Get into your heart. Love the problem. Because you know, even though you can't see how that's going to work out for your best, it's going to work out for your best. I promise. You don't know how, but it will. How many of you have had a horrible experience take place, and now you can look back on it and go, you know, that was one of the best things that ever happened to me. Yeah, so start celebrating now. You'll speed it up. That's why I'm serious. You pop the champagne and you celebrate. You're like, all right, the bank took the house away. This is great. I don't know how, but I know that it's going to work out for our best in the end. So as we're wrapping up on our time here, and as always, there's like a million things I want to say. I go off on rabbit trails. So another day, another time, we'll have another class. I hope that you all enjoyed today.